Good morning, precious people. Here we are together. It's another fresh day, and I'm so thankful for your irreplaceable light and the experience and wisdom that you bring into the world. Today is a gift, and it's filled with possibility. So let's open it with kindness and curiosity. Remember, we're all still growing and learning. So give yourself some mercy, some grace today. Make some mistakes and move past it. I know, I will. Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Get stuck in your mistakes and beat yourself up forever? Believe me, I've tried that. It doesn't work. So, if you have a drink, go ahead and grab it. And let's take a sip together. I actually have coffee today and my water. So good. I just finished watching a rocket launch, and I don't know when it goes out to sea and when it goes along the coast, because when it goes along the coast I can see it for longer. So I think that's called a polar launch. I'm not sure what it's called. I'll have to look that up. I love it though. I love it when it kind of goes southerly and goes along the coast. I don't know if it ever goes northerly over the United States, but typically I see it kind of go out to the east and then it disappears a bit more quickly, but I like when it kind of goes a little southerly, then I can see it for longer. Let's see. Yeah, that was cool. And the vibration from it, it was a bigger rocket. Was it Atlas 5 or was that yesterday? I can't remember. Or 2 days ago? Today's Wednesday? Okay. I'm getting my rockets confused. I don't know what rocket launch I just watched. But it was a bigger one because I could feel the do-do-do-do-do of the rocket propellant being burnt. It makes this, maybe it's what is it that makes that boo 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 boo? I feel like it's sound waves from the rocket propellant being burned. I'll have to look into that because that's just my assumption. I don't know what it is that makes my windows shake in my house. So I was talking about humor yesterday, and then the homework I gave. Actually, before I get into it, let's do our breath. I just have to check in with myself. I feel all, ooh. Okay, let's take our deep breath. You and me. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I feel really loose. I feel hyper. I think because I put sugar in my coffee, I feel crazy. Even the slightest little bit of sugar sometimes makes me a little nutty. Okay. Oh yeah, I was going to say, yesterday I talked about humor. Then I picked my daughter up from school, and she did the humor test that I talked about yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. It was a HSQ. It's the Humor Styles Questionnaire. You can just Google that. Take that. I think it's 25 questions, and there's 4 types of humor that it will grade you on. She was high in all 4 types of humor. I was high in one type. So what that told me is there's certain types of humor that I don't grasp. I was really low, the 6th percentile in one form of the humor, and pretty average in 2 of them and high in 1. So there's certain types of humor that I totally get, totally love, enjoy, understand, and then there's one type of humor where I'm like, what? So I thought that was kind of funny to see. That's not what the test told me, but I could see from the results that, yes, there's probably some forms of humor I'm not a fan of, or I don't get, or whatever. So that was kind of eye-opening. I enjoyed doing that. That was your homework from yesterday. So hopefully you did your homework. Just kidding. Today I wanted to talk about there's a couple of psychological terms where you just assume people think and act like you, and we all know that not everyone thinks and acts like us. You can say those words, but when you go around your daily life, you're on this like automatic processing, like you're on auto mode, I guess. We all have this like ingrained wiring in us. That's how we operate. So let me talk about this. It does tie into humor. So yesterday we learned that a massive portion of the population doesn't share the same humor software that we do. Today we're going to go a little deeper where we all suffer from this thing. It's called false consensus effect. We walk around with this me simulator running in our heads, and it's a little version of ourselves that we use to predict how other people are going to act. It's like if you're a hardworking, curious, polite person, you're going to simulate in your head, like, my boss is going to be hardworking, curious, and polite. My spouse, my children, the people I interact with at the grocery store, they're going to have the same values, the same reactions that I would have. And then, and this happens to me a lot, I know, people's behavior surprises me so much. And sometimes even my own behavior surprises me. But it's like when someone doesn't act the way I think they're supposed to act, or they ask me a weird question, or they're intrusive, then I'm like, wait, I am actually kind of offended, like not even like just surprised sometimes, but I'm like offended. Like, why would they ask that? Don't they know that's kind of rude to say something like that? But I want to learn personally, I want to learn how to turn off that little me simulator in my head. So I want to get into a little bit of the psychology. It's called the projection bias. I don't know if you've heard of that. I've heard of it. Boy, I don't know when I first heard of this. I took, in college, I took the psychology of communication course as part of my major in communication. That's probably maybe when I first heard this term, psychology or projection bias. It's a scientific term for the tendency to assume that others think, feel, and behave exactly as we do. And it is hardwired into us because it's an efficient form of functioning. It takes less energy to assume someone is just like me than it takes to make a whole new profile for each person that you meet. Like, you could have a complex model of that person's personality in your mind. Then I talked to Artie about the false consensus effect. That takes the projection bias even further. We subconsciously believe that our own opinions and behaviors are the normal ones. Of course we do. Of course I feel like what I think and how I behave is a normal way to think and behave. Of course I think my belief system, my politics, is the correct moral one, because why would I believe it if I didn't think it was right, And we assume other people think how we think because we think it's the right way to think, right? So when someone deviates, we don't think, oh, they have different priorities. We think they're being irrational. This is why political debates almost feel like war. You aren't debating different opinions. You're debating why those people aren't using their brains. Well, at least not in the same way you are. I have gotten to this point where I see political disagreements and stuff as I try not to assign evil, malice, bad intentions to other people. I feel like maybe they're misinformed, or maybe they want the same outcome but don't agree on the process that I think that they should, or that I think is a logical way to go about fixing a problem. So there are some instances where I'm like, that's just straight up evil. I think that's demon possession. I've said that, especially my own, what do you call it, social media. I'm like, I think that might be demon possession when I see somebody react like a wild animal. I'm like, something's going on. Like, that's not a human reaction. I mean, I can go to even that point where I'm so confused by something where I'm like, that doesn't even seem like a normal human response to something. Something's going on inside them. And we could call it mental illness. We can call it demon possession. It's like, something's going on. So there are certain instances where it's like someone's brain chemistry really is off kilter, where they're not acting rationally. And we can see that. And actually, sometimes I just really have sympathy for people like that. I'm like, it's got to be hard going through your life reacting to every little offense like that and being crazy. It's heartbreaking to see almost. Excuse me. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is I asked the internet, like, how do we kind of move past this? Because I know I do it a lot. I do it constantly all the time. So I want to stop projecting my own biases and behaviors onto other people. So one of the ways I can help myself, and maybe if you want to train this out of yourself too, it's called the constraint audit. Instead of asking, why did they do that? Ask, what constraints are they operating under? Is it a lack of curiosity? Is it a fear of change? Or do they have a entirely different value system? Someone is operating under a different constraint than I am. Also, we can do the incentive check. Look at their life through the lens of their goals, not mine. If they seem lazy, maybe they don't value productivity as much as I do. Maybe they value security or a low-stress lifestyle. There is a family member, I cared about this person so deeply, and I was so excited when this person was going out in the workforce and they're going to start their life. I'm like, okay, they graduated high school now. I'm so excited for them. And then I saw they took a job where they're working, I think it was maybe 4 hours a day, and then playing video games the rest of the time. And to me, I was like, that feels like just a sad life. Like, I was really wanting this person to go out, and his like light was so amazing. He's the sweetest, most precious person you could imagine, and so sensitive and amazing. And I thought, oh, he's going to do all these big things and take the world by storm. And then I was like, oh, well, that's not the life he wants. That was the life I was wanting for him. So I came to terms with myself, like, that's the life he wants. He wants a life where he earns enough money to do the thing that he likes to do, which is buy video games, like upgrade his computer, eat the foods that he wants to eat. So as long as he's not asking for money from anyone, he's not destitute, he's really just making enough money to have the life that he wants. And I was just had all these grandiose like plans for someone else's life. So that I did have this incentive check many years ago. So number 3 is called a curiosity pivot. So the next time you're baffled by someone, or I am, instead of getting angry, you'll just treat them like an anthropological specimen. Does that sound funny? This is also what I like to call the benevolent alien effect, where you're just watching something with curiosity and benevolence. You're not judging or expecting. Then you get disappointed less. So instead of getting upset over some person's behavior or actions, you can ask, that's a fascinating reaction. What led you to that conclusion? And if you really actually are having a dialogue with somebody and you ask them this question, you could be surprised and you'll learn something new about that person, and it may even benefit your relationship. Oh, actually, I have had that, where I've had disagreements with someone, especially coworkers, where you just address it head on, and you're like, well, you said that thing and it really offended me, and I'm working through it. Excuse me. I'm having an itchy face today. Always this itchy face. What's with it? I used to blame it on caffeine. So with coworkers, you work through it. Friends, something comes up, you guys will talk through it, explain why you're confused at their behavior. They'll explain to you why they behave that way. So, I guess my takeaway from this is that detachment isn't coldness. You can gain clarity when you pull yourself away from being so mentally involved in how other people are acting or reacting. When you stop requiring everyone to be a mirror to your own mental state, you stop being a victim to what you perceive as their irrationality. You become an observer instead. So, this homework I'm going to give myself, and you if you choose to have homework today, identify one person who consistently frustrates you. I think I can do this homework right now. One person who consistently frustrates me. Yes. Okay. Before you react to them, write down 3 reasons why they might be operating from a different set of mental software. I can already think of one reason why this person thinks way different than I do. Stop assuming that you are in a different suit. Interesting. Yeah, if I was in their shoes, if I was raised how they were, if I was educated how they were educated, I would probably be saying and thinking the same things, which are way different than how I was raised and taught and think. So, here's some resources. It's called, this is if you want to read more about the false consensus effect. It's a great deep dive into the classic 1977 study by Lee Ross that first coined this term. It explains the sandwich board experiment, a classic example of how we assume everyone agrees with us. I actually need to look that up. I feel like I can almost remember it. I've been exposed to this sandwich board experiment, or I've read about it, but it was a long time ago. I don't quite remember it. I'm assuming anyway, you'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up. That'll be my homework. Part of my homework. Theory of mind inventory. Search. You can do a search for reading the mind in the eyes test. It's a tool used to measure how well we can discern the mental state of others. Oh, cool. I want to see that. It's probably just by looking in their eyes if you can see that. Anyway, I'm going to look into those things today and I'll report back tomorrow. But if anything today sparked a thought, why don't you leave a comment or a like and subscribe? Every single day is a chance to learn and grow and become more of the wonderful person you are. And remember, the world is better with your light in it. It just is. Thanks for sharing time with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, I hope you have a beautiful day. And don't forget, you're the Lord's precious ones. Bye!